think we're good to go here. So
all right.
Yeah, we're tuning in. So yeah, so what do I know? You good?
You good?
They give you some more.
Give me some slack.
You getting a little wiry there?
Yeah. Give me some slack there, in case I get crazy.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get crazy. It's cool. It's all right. Yeah. I mean, so what the hell do I know about managing a football team? I can tell you this though, right? That I think with all the studying that these guys do and all the investigation and things like that,
Research.
I think 75% of the guys that are really into fantasy football could do a better job than a lot of these GMs.
Probably.
I mean that.
Probably.
Because those guys are all geeks about it, and it's like whatever, but who knows? Thanks for coming.
No problem.
Welcome to the gallery.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, welcome to the studio. Welcome to the gallery.
Really nice.
I'm glad you guys could come in. So, welcome to Connected by Water, presented by Joey Cardi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and fueled by our good friends at Papa's Pilar Rum, right? Who we're all drinking today.
Yes.
And they remind you never to be a spectator, and Papa would be proud, right? So, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today. Our guests today, right, are from ROFFS, right? ROFFS. And if you don't know what ROFFS is, these guys are going to explain it, I'm sure, in great detail today, right?
Without boring you, hopefully.
No. No one's going to get bored. No one's going to get bored. Not with Greg in the house, right? So I got my good buddy, Greg Galakowski, right? And we were talking before the show. We've been buddies for a long time now.
Yep,
it's kind of cool, but glad you're finally here visiting me.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while, probably, since Miami.
Since Miami,
when we had that
at the FFMD event, right?
FFMD.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's where we
Paul
first got the
Robinson's.
ideas. Hey, come on, bring it in. Yeah, Paul. Did you see Paul? At the Miami event when Joey and them and Joey Cardi spoke to Surreal. They brought him all the way up. They hoisted him up to the bridge and everything. That was a pretty cool moment. Yeah. They posted that video around.
Yep.
I tried to see him at the Mid-Atlantic, but it didn't work out.
Yeah. So I'm with Matt Upton here, right? Who's married to Kate Upton.
That's right.
So they tell me.
There is a connection there. Not the Kate Upton, the married in Kate Upton.
It is the Kate Upton.
It is the Kate Upton, right? I think so.
She's married in, though.
Yeah. And our normal bartender, our usual bartender, Carlene couldn't make it today. Right? We called Carlene the Robin to my stern, right? She couldn't be in today, but we have a fill-in, right? The lovely Miss Laura Helmick.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Also known as Laura Roffler.
Well,
Roffler?
Yes.
She belongs behind the bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could say that.
She's the straw that stirs the drink at Ross.
Thank you.
Nice. And she's wearing a nice little Mid-Atlantic shirt there,
Mid-Atlantic
right?
shirt,
Yep.
Mid-Atlantic.
We have a good connection with people in Cape May. It's it's a special partnership.
Yeah, that's nice. So do we, right?
Yeah.
So do we. And we got a couple of bar flies today, right? We got AJ Burns, James King, right, hanging out at the bar. We got Nick Way down there who likes to ponder life on his own sometimes and just kind of stare down at this iPad, right? So anyway, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. So
thanks for having us.
I
appreciate it.
I want to kick this off a little bit today, by you guys starting it off and kind of giving me your spiel on ROFFS. I think it's important for people to know what you guys are, what you provide for our community, because you guys for years have done an outstanding job. I want to give a shout out to Mitchell.
Yeah,
right? Right off the bat, like before we say anything.
Let's start from the beginning. I mean, years ago, late '80s, Dr. Mitchell Roffer started the company, and he was really a pioneer in using satellite imagery to find the best conditions offshore for fish, pelagic fish. And that just grew through the 90s and the 2000s. And here we are now, new ownership 3 or 4 years ago. But pretty much the same crew, and it's the same concept. We look at satellite imagery, let our clients know where the best conditions are to fish offshore, based on mainly ocean color and sea surface temperature.
So when you say ocean color and sea surface
Mhm.
temperature, I mean, and you get the satellite imagery, and like, how is that reflecting into your technology, and like how you translating that information?
So we're taking the information, the real-time data, and then we customize it for our clients.
Okay.
Go that extra step, map out water mass boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
which are indicators of convergent zones. If the water mass boundaries are stable enough for certain days, brings in bait fish, that brings in your pelagic fish,
Okay.
your larger pelagics.
All right, so it's almost kind of like a predictor.
Yeah, we call it a forecast. So we're looking at real-time data.
Mm-hmm.
We can tell how the currents are moving based on the satellite imagery, and then tell you the best places likely the next day where the fish are going to congregate.
All right. So then how come Greg doesn't catch like many fish?
He doesn't have any time to fish because he's telling people where to go fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, we look at it over time, not just one day. You know, we're always looking at it every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Matt looks at the north the whole summer. I look at the Gulf of Mexico. You know, James and Adrian might look at the south or the Bahamas. So we're studying the water on a day-to-day basis.
All right. So all you guys are analyzing all this stuff?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
AJ, James, and I, Greg, expert oceanographers, analysts, and then Tony. Tony's a new guy. He didn't make it down here. He's probably at work right now, finishing up the areas for the fishermen tomorrow.
Oh, really?
No, he's
No,
home
he's
now.
done for the day.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So who is it? Is it mainly fishermen like accessing the data? I mean, or are you guys involved with other like, organizations or groups that need the data to collect information for other purposes?
It's both, probably more fishermen, but we've been associated with other. I mean, we got a good relationship with the Billfish Foundation,
Mm-hmm.
you know, various other tournaments, other government agencies.
Right.
We've worked on NASA projects before.
Really? Like
yeah.
what?
For bluefin tuna research.
Come on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Bluefin tuna, that's a big topic on the show.
Yep, it's a big political fish, right? So
Yeah.
we did years ago. We had a big NASA project that we helped give the University of Miami,
Well, the University of Miami and NOAA, Southeast Fisheries
the
Center
Southeast
on Key
Fisheries Center.
Biscayne.
Yep.
So they do. They would go every. What I think it was like middle of April to the end of May
When
ish
the
time frame when they were supposedly
Bluefin was
spawning
Mhm.
in the Gulf of Mexico, and they'd have a grid, certain stations where they'd sample and look for bluefin tuna larvae. Well, we would look based on where they were sampling, try and give them additional stations where we saw water mass boundaries in favorable conditions. And we actually had two. One was 3 years with the standard grid that they were sampling and adding additional locations, but then we had followed up with another 3 years, and we actually sampled down in Cuba,
Mhm.
off the Yucatan, and in the Bahamas. And actually the year in the Bahamas, based on where we recommended, we actually found some larvae in the Bahamas that had never been found. You know, they'd never been studied before because people didn't think they spawned there.
Really?
Yep.
So the traditional spawning grounds is in the Gulf of Mexico, and that was always thought to be, this is where the Western Atlantic stock went to spawn. And then we found out, they've spawned in the Bahamas a little bit. They spawned over here. So that was a big find.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. So you did that with NASA?
Yes.
Yep.
So
NASA
who's
was
taking the larva sample studies? Is it you guys or is it NASA?
Well, we were providing, NASA provided the grant, you know, NASA provided the money.
Okay.
And then, you know, it was through in partnership with NOAA and Southeast Fisheries
NOAA.
Science Center. And then we provided the support, like the satellite imagery, the analyses, and, you know, directed them where to go.
Okay. So they're kind of like giving the grant because you guys are utilizing satellite imagery and everything like that. That's
So
kind of cool.
They end up finding more larvae in
Right.
locations where we would recommend that they would.
Yeah, where the conditions were
were
looked
a
good.
little bit better for bluefin tuna.
Because
That's
they
really
had been
interesting.
doing this for 30 years. So NOAA had a grid. You know, it was every
standard
30
grid.
miles or something, and they'd
Yep,
sample
just the
every
box.
30 miles, you know, on even lat longs.
Right.
You
So
know,
it's like an archaeological kind of
Yes.
like layout,
and
right?
then we said, well, you know, if you're going to go here to there, and that's 30 miles, we'll go, you know, stop 6 miles because there's a water mass boundary there where there's likely to be bait and other things, and the larvae are likely to converge on that water mass boundary, sample across that instead of just in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
So we would provide satellite support of the conditions for these cruises every spring.
Every spring.
And it made it more efficient, and it actually helped the stock assessment guys do a better job at doing the stock assessment for the population each year.
Now, are you kind of discovering like cycle patterns in these fish throughout this process, or you already kind of know what the cycle patterns are with the fish beforehand? Are you finding out anything new from that perspective?
Oh man, let's see.
I mean, honestly,
every year is different. That's what we talk
that's
about
finding
it every
things out,
single
though,
year.
right?
Yeah.
But if it's different, that's still finding something out, right?
Right.
Every year is that. Like, I've been looking at the Gulf of now.
Climate change.
I've been looking at the Gulf for 15 years now, probably easy. Every summer,
right?
And for example, now what's going on now? Yeah, there's the loop current comes up, off of the Yucatan into the middle of the Gulf, and that's what feeds the Gulf Stream around the Keys. And I don't know for what 3 months, 4 months, it was up all the way almost to the Mississippi River Delta, and there was a huge eddy formed in there. We also work with oil rigs to provide forecasts of the conditions, and we never seen it, in over 15 years. It never looked and remained like that. I mean, it's just from year to year, from month to month, it's just different.
Yeah,
it's always changing.
That's interesting to find out. Yeah, because it's interesting because one of the things that we talk about on the show regarding the bluefin tuna is Nova Scotia, right? And obviously that's a hotbed for bluefin tuna.
Yep.
So a lot of the guys that we talked to, we had Fly Navarro on last episode. Andy Moyes has been on the show, a few times. He's no stranger to the studio. He's a very good friend of mine. Obviously, Andy is, one of the world's greatest fishermen. And he wrote a piece in Marlin magazine about theories. Everyone's got their theories, right? So you got these guys that have been fishing there their whole lives, that they're kind of like stuck in the same pattern. Like, they're not here this year. They left. They're not here this year.
But they're just
Andy's
somewhere
like,
else.
Yeah, Andy's like, no, they're there. They probably just moved.
Yeah.
And now they're back into your pattern.
Yeah.
Right? And so but then there's a lot to be said for all these guys that they did change and they still didn't find any bluefin tuna, but everyone's thinking, the bluefin tuna are gone.
Right. They're
but
just
the reality is they're smart.
Yeah.
Right?
They adjust,
yeah,
right?
They adjust
to climate change, and they adjust to the different yearly conditions, and they move to where they feel comfortable.
They move to where the conditions are favorable for them.
Well, where's the food at?
Yeah.
Right.
And where's my mate at? That's where all the fish care about.
Yeah. That's
where
true.
They're comfortable within a
where their habitat is.
Their preferred habitat, we call it. Their SST, sea surface temperature range. Where's that? Where's their comfortable temperature range? Where's the food at?
What is their comfortable temperature range?
Bluefin tuna? Oh, it goes because they're so large they can adjust
really wide.
Yeah.
But
really
it's
wide.
Anywhere from
they're huge, man.
You can find them in 50 degrees,
I was going to say
55 degrees
50s
to
80.
To 80.
Okay.
It's a wide range.
What time of year?
50 to 80.
Yeah.
All right.
But you kind of narrow that down to their preferred habitat, which is like what? 60
5, 4,
60,
3,
65 to 75 ish.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Have you guys done any other research programs with any other species of fish?
We had a dolphin fish research right when I started working back in the
South Carolina.
With South Carolina DNR.
Fisheries. Yep.
They had a bunch of data on where they caught dolphin
the
fish.
one I'm sure you've seen that does the tagging, all the tagging stuff. We did a project with them.
Okay.
Don Hammond.
Don Hammond, yes. I think part of that was they had a bunch of catch data on cards that were written from these charter captains and everything. Went and caught dolphin, and it was handwritten, and we put it in a database and digitalized it for them,
right?
And sort of plotted where all the fish were caught.
So I'm wondering, you talk about the hand data and water temperature and different things like that. Florida, as most people should know by now, is kind of like the haven for sharks. There's probably more sharks right in Florida than anywhere in the world in one close proximity kind of space. but it seems like recently there's been more sharks in the area.
It's a hot topic lately.
It's a hot topic. Hot topic, right?
Yeah.
You guys mind talking about it? Is it like any? Because I don't have a slanted question about it. I actually have a real question related to some of the things that you guys do, because I just thought of this. I'm wondering if there's any way to do any sort of research to see if there's any sea patterns like that, like favorable conditions in water and temperature and flow and different things like that that might be influencing that at all.
Well, there's a lot of shark research that's gone on in the last few years, and a lot of shark tagging as well. I'm not real an expert on what the conditions are or what the research says. I just know that we get so many complaints from our clients. Most of our clients are sport fishermen,
right,
or charter guys, and especially the guys off of North Carolina. It's really become a problem.
Florida too, though. Down here
South
too.
Florida. Now I've seen stuff too, but it's like you can't get the tuna into the boat because the sharks will eat it up, and that's bad on for charter guys. It's horrible because that's what they're getting paid for, to bring in fish.
Does it correspond with the weeds, with the sargassum? I mean, there's been a problem. I know Pompano. I've been in the summer by the lighthouse right up the street here, and it's just been so bad that you couldn't even walk, and it just smelled real bad. And I mean, it gets rough, worse than you've ever seen. I mean, it's pretty interesting.
Because you say it's a hot topic, and it is, right? And we've talked about it at length on this show, and guys come in here and everyone offers their different theory on the matter, and Lord knows there's a lot of them. Some people want to blame divers and the noise, and that's debatable, but some people want to blame regulation changes and sandbars and stuff like that. But I'm thinking, sometimes I think also there could be a combination of elements that happen to change things, like unintended consequences too. There's you guys ever heard of the Cobra Effect? Ever? All right. So in India, I believe it was in India, it was like years ago, maybe like in the 70s, they had this real bad problem of cobras attacking people, right? So they're like, you know what? We are going to make this, we need to kill all the cobras. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you like $100 for every cobra that you kill, right? So the unintended consequence was that started an industry, right, of people going, I'm going to get $100 for every cobra I kill. And all of a sudden they killed all the cobras and nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Right? So what did that do? That created an industry of, no, I'm going to plant these cobras now, right? And then we are going to kill these cobras. I'm still going to get paid because I'm feeding my family this way now.
Right.
Right. Then what happened was the unintended consequences. They ended up with a larger cobra problem than they ever had before. Right. So unintended consequences, maybe change in laws, or maybe different things happening to cause like this perfect storm might not be just one thing.
Yeah. It makes you wonder on how much influence certain people should have or shouldn't have on species control. Because I think some sharks are endangered, right? And then some species are overregulated. And so they're protected, and they probably should have been protected, years ago, but now they probably don't. So now we have to, adjust our research and adjust our line of thinking. And that's where really you have to have the fishing community and the scientific community communicate more.
That's a problem.
That's a huge problem.
And I think that's where the biggest issue is.
Instead of fighting each other,
you throw government into it too,
and regulation, then you get
bigger.
Yeah. And how to do that the most efficiently is, I don't know, but
that's a great question.
All right, so anybody who watches this show knows who Art Sapp is, right? And actually, most people that would watch this show know who Art Sapp is. And Art Sapp was on a board for a long time. He isn't on the board anymore because he wasn't getting anywhere, and he wasn't telling people what they wanted to hear, right? And I'm going to say that it's probably the nicest, easiest way I could say that. Part of the problem that he was seeing is that you got the scientists going, no, we're not catching any fish here. It's like, you shouldn't be going for that fishing 800 foot of water. You should be going for that fish in 300 foot of water. If you were listening to the fishermen, you'd know that. That's why your data is false.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't catch those fish in that depth. Right? It's just like, oh, we're not seeing any sharks out here at all. It's like, no, they're all biting tunas off in 300.
That's like going out here and everybody's fishing for sailfish and 80 to 120, and you go and say, oh, I'm not fishing for a dolphin. I'm going to fish for a sailfish, but I'm going to go on 1,500 feet.
Right.
You're not going to catch any.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Same thing. So, but the scientists don't know that unless they listen to the fishermen, and they're not going to get the correct data unless they do. That's been one issue. But I don't know. I guess I'm not trying to like beat that to a dead horse or anything like that, but I'm just wondering if some of these like research that you guys do can play into that at all. If you're finding bluefin tuna, can you find sharks, and is there a relation there? And I guess that's really the question. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a smart guy. I paint fish, so you know what I mean. But it's a question.
Sharks are going to be where the food's at.
Yeah,
where's that food going to be at?
Yep, absolutely. So what other steps does ROFFS take throughout the year? So you guys are providing data for fishermen, right? And what about tournaments and the things like
Tournaments are probably our biggest.
They're big.
Yeah, we have a lot of guys that use us for tournaments, and they use our competition also for tournaments. And we're thankful for all tournaments. It's a great thing, and we have a good partnership with a lot of guys that fish tournaments.
Yeah, that's nice. So where's ROFFS based out of?
West Melbourne, Florida.
Oh, okay.
But I'm from Michigan. I am there most of the year.
What got you into this from Michigan?
I went to school, and this is my first real job, believe it or not.
Really?
2004.
This is my first real
Greg's
job.
been here longer than I have.
His first real job. You've been working this job for what, 35 years now?
No,
we're not that old yet.
I graduated from University of Miami in April of 2000 or May of 2000, and I started at ROFFS in April of 2000.
Oh, really?
Before. Yep.
Yeah.
You've been there ever since?
Ever since.
So I went to University of Michigan. Go Blue.
Oh, you guys
beat Georgia.
Yeah, right. You guys are going to the national championship.
Well, maybe not yet, but semifinals.
You guys are going to national. What you playing Georgia first?
No. I think we played Georgia, don't we? Yeah.
You got lined up on Georgia?
Michigan,
That's
Georgia. Yeah.
Then because they didn't want to rematch Alabama. Georgia.
The SEC didn't want a rematch probably in the first round.
Yeah, so
Michigan go by ranking, right?
Michigan sort of got screwed in that.
Come on. Yeah. Really?
Hey,
shouldn't you be playing Cincinnati?
Yeah, probably.
Come on.
Well,
go Gators.
Gators.
Who said that?
Tell her to come close. You can't hear that.
Wait a minute, who said that?
Go Gators.
Oh, you're fired.
You got James over here as an Alabama fan, so he just jumps on the bandwagon.
I don't want to hear Roll Tide anymore.
Yeah? All right.
My daughter graduated from Florida.
So. Seminole Nation in this gallery.
Man. Oh man!
Right, I got this.
If I said Notre Dame, would that be better?
No.
Okay.
Not after what Kelly did.
No.
I got one. I got a Seminole that way down there at the end of the bar, and I got a Seminole right over here producing the show.
Oh man!
We got one right here.
Ooh, I think
we got here.
AJ's.
Yeah, you got a U on you. I like it. The what?
That's right, Kate. That's like the fiance is a Seminole fan.
Oh man!
But anyway, grad school.
So what'd you major in school?
Grad school at University of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And then came into this.
Yeah. That's nice. So tell me a little bit about like more of the history of ROFFS, because listen, shout out to Mitchell, right?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if he's going to be listening to this or not. Did you tell him we were coming?
We had it on Facebook. We had it on our newsletter. Yeah. I should have called him and told him. Right. He just had surgery. Right. I hope his back surgery.
I like Mitchell. So
ROFFS stands for ROFFS Ocean Fishing Forecasting Service.
Okay.
So that's his last name.
That's where the name comes from.
Yeah.
And then we use ROFFS because it's just a lot easier for everyone to remember.
Okay. Yeah.
And kept the name. Kept all the bare bones and how we do things, and then we're just trying to get better and better every year.
I think it's interesting that you've been at this job since you graduated. Like I had a job like that. I had a job for 17 years, right, working in the music business, right, where I was just like, eventually I'm like, you know what? I'm always painting fish. I got to get out of there. I got to do this because this was really kind of more my destiny, not the job. The job was awesome because it was the music business, right? And I just couldn't leave it because I was having like too much fun like all those years. But it ended up like diverting because this is really the path that I always should have been on anyway. You know what I mean? But I always think it's interesting because, like, in a day and age where people are always hopping around from job to job doing this, it's nice to see some consistency in the world.
Yeah, we keep it interesting too and do different stuff. Yep.
Yeah, nice. And what about your photography?
It's going good. I mean, that's a different style. I mean,
how do you fall into that?
Same thing. I mean, through Rob, there was a guy. I don't know if you know Adrian Gray. You know, he works for IGF. I'm sure you do. Yeah, he worked.
Adrian's one of my closest friends.
He was before Matt.
He worked at ROFFS. I think I took.
Did
his,
he work at ROFFS?
I think I took his place.
There might have been one other guy before, but it might have been him.
I think it
might have been
Well,
him.
Adrian's been at IGFA for a long time.
Yeah, he's been ever since he left ROFFS. But I mean, I started. He was working at ROFFS for maybe a year before I started there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And,
well, he went to UM too.
Yeah. He went to UM, and then I met him.
Damn Hurricanes.
I met him. I was in the same office with him all the time, and we would go fish for tarpon, fish for snook.
He's a great artist, also.
He's an amazing artist.
He had a Carolina skiff, a J16, and he had an inflatable, 16-foot inflatable with a 90 short shaft, 90 horsepower Mercury, and we would take that. This was when digital first got started. It's funny because the first year I worked at ROFFS, I wasn't there a full year. And we got a Christmas bonus the first year, and I was like, man, this is great. I was going to school, not making a lot of money.
Never happened again.
No, that's not where I'm going at all. But we got a Christmas bonus. The first thing I did, me and Adrian, we went to Best Buy, and I basically took my whole bonus and bought my first digital camera.
Oh, nice.
And Adrian would. He would just drive the boat at first, and we would go all over. And I still have a lot of those pictures in Stiltsville and Key Biscayne, all around, places where we could take that inflatable that you couldn't go. And then, through doing that through ROFFS, there was a guy, Tony Albello, who does all the beer events now in Miami, but he had a bunch of tournaments. He ran the Grove Slam. And Adrian's like, hey, I know this guy, you're doing photos.
Adrian knows every guy.
Yeah, he knows. I mean, but he was like, come take photos at this tournament. And I went, and it sort of went ballooned from there.
Yeah. Adrian's such a talented photographer. So are you.
So let's give a side plug to Greg's side job. Endless Imagery, right?
Yeah.
Photography. Anybody needs a photographer for tournaments? Or...
Yeah, I do all the tournaments. I do Jamie Bunn's stuff, like the Quest for the Crest and a Pompano Beach saltwater series here, and a lot of stuff in Miami.
Anytime I need a boat, I'm like, Craig.
Yep, he does. He does.
I need a 42 Freeman.
Yeah,
I'm doing a 3/4 angle.
I'm doing some artwork for this boat. He's like, you have a picture of this boat? I'm like, here. All the time.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, actually.
My favorite thing to do photos, I love shooting helicopter stuff. That's my favorite.
The helicopter stuff?
Yeah.
How often do you do that?
Make sure you're harnessed in.
Yeah, right.
How often?
It's
I don't know. I mean,
scary.
I've shot.
How many times have you been up in a helicopter?
How many times?
Losing
taking pictures of
probably 100 plus.
Really?
Oh, easy. Yeah.
I've never been up in a helicopter forever.
It's awesome.
Can you take me?
This is nice. Pompano Air Park right here. You can be in the inlet in like 2 minutes. Yeah. You literally go up and right out. It's nice.
When are you going up in a helicopter next?
Next time, I don't know. Whenever somebody calls, I
haven't done. Like
whenever someone pays
normally you can take somebody else.
Really?
In a 44, you can take two people. Yeah.
I'm going up in a helicopter.
Yeah. See, I don't like heights and that. I mean, even with the doors off.
Yeah. How is it?
It's like because it's sort of like you're in a car. You're in a closed. It's really a small, so you don't feel it. You don't feel that that's your high.
What about when you're going up and down? It's not like you're on like the Dr. Doom.
No, not bad at all.
Oh man, you think I imagine going on a helicopter and all of a sudden the pilot's just like, oh, we're gonna go there real quick, and you go 800 feet in 2 seconds.
No, it's not.
And
It's the max speed, like an R44. The max speed is like 110 knots, so it doesn't go. It doesn't go that. It goes fast, but it's not that fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I've flown from Tamiami and Miami down to Key West like 4 times. It's really cool. You see different stuff.
That's what I want to see. I want to see the coastline.
Oh, it's neat. It's neat.
Yeah, I want to see how everything is connected by water.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite thing to do. It's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to take me. I hear you on the heights.
Next time I do up in Pompano, I'll let you know.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've shot for Jupiter. I've shot for Invincible. I've done a few up here. So yeah, definitely.
Nice. Can we look for snook while we're there?
Yeah, can you see the fish and map them when you're out there?
I'm gonna bring a rod with me.
I've never seen fish, but I don't know. One of the first company I ever shot for in a helicopter was Sea Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Back, and this was like, God, it was probably like 15 years. It might have been longer than that now. But
Shout out to Eddie Leon.
There was a ad in Bass and all the magazines are for Bass Pro, and it was a wrapped Sea Hunter with the Delft brothers on the boat. I don't know if the boat was like out of the water, with quads, and that was we shot that for them. And on that day, they had like full foul weather gear on, like it was like December. That shoot was in the first week of August. It was like 100 degrees outside, and we were so low flying to the boat that like it was a rough day, and it was windy over the summer, and the boat was like getting air and hitting, and we were so close shooting that there was like 5 times where we got sprayed in the helicopter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Were the seas big that day?
It was pretty rough.
Yeah, that's probably why they all the foul weather on.
Yeah, that's why they picked that data, because they were
Yeah.
trying to get some shots of the boat out of the water for that ad. But pretty cool.
So, all right. So I'm involved with the Hillsborough Inlet Lighthouse Preservation Society, right? We do some work together and whatever. So, I mean, anytime they're like, oh yeah, you can go up to, in the lighthouse whenever you want. But I'm working on this project where I have a slice, like the top of that lighthouse is like wedges, right?
I've actually never been on. I mean, I've shot photos, but I've never been up in there.
That's what I'm getting at. So, like, I've been growing up here my whole life, born and raised, right? When I was 17 years old, right, my first gallery was right behind this building, right? So, like, this is like full circle moment that we're in this place, right? Anyway, so they give me one of these wedges from like 1907 or something like that. It's like made of zinc, and they want me to paint it. They're going to auction it off for the Preservation Society, their dinner that they're going to have in March. Which, like, now I'm thinking, crap, I got to get started on that, right? But they're like, oh, she's like, when I go to pick up the wedge, they're like, you want to go up in the lighthouse? I'm like, I looked at the thing and I'm just like, I've never been up in that thing. Like, all these years, I'm like, I've never been up in a lighthouse. I'm like, yeah, I'll go, right? But I'm just like, can I tell you? She's like, yeah, it's my workout every time I go out there.
I believe
right?
it.
Ooh.
And I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, workout. I could, I got to tell you, like, I'm going, oh man, dude, I'm going up those stairs, and I'm just like, like, I'm so out of shape, and like my quads are like burning, and I'm just like, and she's just like,
probably like 20 steps in front of you.
Yeah, more than that, right? And I'm just like, I can hear her going, "You okay?" Right? And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm just looking out the window, and I'm just like, man, I'm like dying. I'm like trying to like save my pride. And by the time I got up there, I was just so like,
you just wanted to go down.
Spend like an hour up there just to recover.
Yeah, to come back down.
And I go up to in the outer walk around thing, and I look down. I'm just like, at the heights, right? And I'm just like, yeah, I'm like looking over like this. I'm like, I don't know, I don't do good with it. Like, even like a tuna tower, so I'm just kind of like weirded out by it too.
Yeah, see, I would rather go in a helicopter than climb up a tuna tower.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
It's actually a funny picture of me and John Van Dellen from Singularis.
Yep,
Big John, right? And I'm not big, right? There's a picture of me and him from like the 2020 Jimmy Johnson, like, because I went fishing with them for that tournament. And like, we're both up in the tuna tower. I swear to God, I look like I'm Gary Coleman or something. like right next to it, like huge, and I'm small anyway. Yeah, you can take me in a helicopter.
Next time I go up here, I'll let you know.
Yeah, you ever been up in a helicopter?
No, I don't think I have.
No, you guys?
Maybe once, a long time ago.
What like the big one, small? Yeah. Was it? You didn't like freak out, like throw up or anything? All right. All right.
No, you won't throw up.
No. Yanni, you ever been in a helicopter? No. All right. So I don't feel so bad that like you're the only one who's been up in a helicopter. All right. All right. Cool. The what's up? Tell me about ROFFS. Like, how do you evolve this thing? Like, all right, you guys are like constantly picking data. Fishermen asking for data. They got so you're going out and you're getting data, like, for all these things. But then you work on these projects, these special projects for like NASA, right? Do you have any other special projects like that, like kind of like in the works coming up? or like
Well-
things that you guys have thought about doing that maybe you can kind of progress the whole science
We have
and
so
what you
mu-
do?
We have so many different ideas, but one of the things that we have a proposal in for is to do white marlin tagging.
Explain.
Oh yeah,
So-
that's actually associated with the couple of people that work with the Mid Atlantic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for
South Jersey
tournaments.
Yeah.
And so we have
And the Billfish Foundation. as
Billfish
well.
Foundation is involved. We
Yeah.
didn't-
So you're working with Ellen and all them over there?
Well,
Peter.
Pete.
With Peter. Yeah.
Pete,
yeah.
Peter and Ellen.
I graduated UM with Pete.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with TBF?
They're part of the we're proposed to tag out of Florida, the Gulf of Mexico with the University of Mississippi, Southern Mississippi, and Walt Gillette, who's a big tuna tagger up in
Mhm.
University of Maine, him, and then Rick Weber and those guys, Walt Rosenberg and South Jersey Tournaments, to do a white marlin tagging project to try to figure out, the species of white marlin. There's not a whole lot of data on white marlin.
Right.
And we'll want to try to track them, put satellite tags on them, track them, use ships of opportunity through our clients, through
Mhm.
ROFF clients, to tag white marlin to see if we get a better idea of their habitat
Right.
and where they go. Do they come back to the same area? Where do they spawn at? And all this stuff is important for conservation and stock assessment. And white marlin is a huge
Mhm.
tournament fish in the Northeast, especially, and it affects so many different economies.
Yeah, for
and-
sure.
and
You
there's
look at the White Marlin Open,
Yeah,
and
there's
you
a
look at the
lot
Mid
of-
Atlantic,
a
and
lot
you
of
look at
money
all
around.
the South Jersey tournaments, like you're saying.
Yeah,
and
there's
these
a lot of
are all-
tournaments in Virginia Beach. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
mean,
we
these-
want
these
these
are
fish
all-
to we
yeah.
want to understand these fish more, try to have a better idea how to conserve them for the future,
Mhm.
and that's what this project's all about. We didn't get funded last year, but we're hoping to be funded the next 4 years. That's our hope.
Right. So you're not only just doing like satellite stuff or just taking like water flow and all that stuff like that, but you're working with the tagging.
Yeah, we're
Right.
trying to
It's sort of
be we're trying to bridge that gap between the fishermen and the scientists.
Right.
sort
So
of
you
works
are.
together though, because like the boats that are going to go out to find the white marlin and tag them,
Yeah,
we'll give them an analysis and tell them, hey, you're more likely to catch them here.
yeah.
So it sort of all works together.
But the main part of the business,
we got a tagged fish over here. Go get them. It's like you guys are like competing with sonar.
we're trying to tag the fish
Yeah.
to begin with. You're already catching them, might as well tag them. Right?
Yeah. Right. Right.
But the problem is the tags are expensive. The satellite tags are
they're very
super
they're
expensive.
expensive.
So that's what we're trying to get funded for. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's not, especially with white marlin. Sort of where it came about is Walt from South Jersey Tournaments. He was writing an article for
Oh,
the magazine.
yeah,
For the Mid Atlantic. For On the Rip.
on the rip.
For the magazine
Yeah.
for the Mid Atlantic, and this
Mhm.
was probably 3 years ago,
3 years
4 years
ago.
ago, and I help him out, do some of the graphics, and some of them he was like, hey, I want you to put these graphics into this article, and it was about white marlin, and there was something about tagging, and he was trying to get graphics for tagged fish, like showing where the fish had the tracks, and
Mm-hmm.
And they're like,
he asked us.
I was like, this
and
is
we were like,
really
we
cool
can't-
stuff.
Yeah,
but,
we couldn't find anything. And
but
we
how many-
looked.
Like a infographic kind of thing.
Yeah, like
Just to
the
show-
data from the tags from the
Okay.
white marlin.
yeah, the results of where this marlin that was caught off of.
I don't even remember. It was somewhere north, but there was like no data. There was like data on like one fish from like 1980 something.
This-
We were like, how is that
For
possible?
a sat tag program?
Yes.
Well, I think it was like early 2000s.
It
but
was
this
a
tag,
it was a while ago.
This marlin that got caught off of, I think it was just north between Washington Canyon and Norfolk Canyon. They got a report from it at the end when the satellite tag popped up. They got all the information from this marlin. It went all the way down to South America, like offshore of Venezuela.
A white
I think.
marlin?
Yep.
Yep.
And then
Really?
went all the way back up within 1 year, 10 months, 11 months, all the way back up to the Mid-Atlantic area
Mhm.
in 1 year. But there's not.
That is insane.
It's just there's not
You don't think
much
that with
data.
a
on
white
Yeah,
it.
marlin.
there was
You
like
don't- there's not much
fish
data
on
on
like
that.
one or two. There data on one or two fish.
So we
And
got
we're
to
like, we
thinking,
want to
we're like,
see more. We're like, but there's not. The data's not there.
So
so
how
we were
hard
like,
are you
how
guys
can we-
pushing forward with it? You guys are working with the Billfish Foundation?
Well,
on
we
this?
went and met with the Bill. This was
They're
in
one of our-
Miami 2 or 3 years ago. We met with Pete
Right.
with Peter at Miami Boat Show, and sort of started throwing the idea around, and then it sort of went from there.
We'll
really,
see how it goes next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we get funded next year for it.
Yeah, right. I think that would be great if you got funded
If
for that next
anybody's
year.
looking, or from NOAA, and
All right, so we're gonna start a GoFundMe.
oh, hey, all we want is a few satellite tags to start. Then we'll get the ball rolling.
Well, if you got, I mean, listen, the bar isn't being set very high. Apparently, you get one fish to work against, right? If you
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
get-
there's a few out there, but
there's a few, but there's not a lot.
there's not as much as there should be for that important of a fish for the economy and sport fishing. There needs to be a lot more known.
I always think it's really, really interesting. Anytime you sat tag something, you can really
it's
kind
so
of
cool.
It's neat.
There's
like
so
that.
much stuff on sharks there out there, but there's not a lot on.
But it's mostly, isn't it mostly like great whites though?
Yeah, I think
See
it is.
listen,
Yeah.
that's what drives me up a wall about Shark Week, right?
It's all
Because
great. There's only
it's
great
all
whites.
bullshit.
It's-
It's all bullshit. Like all that Discovery Channel stuff.
Reality.
It's
yeah,
all such
yeah.
bullshit, and then they tease you before the commercial break, and finally the shark's gonna open its mouth, and then they go to commercial.
Doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and it doesn't do anything, and it's like turns its head and swims away when you come back from commercial, right? but it's all about freaking great whites, right? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
we get it, great whites, Jaws, you want whatever, but like none of these shows really do any like meaningful documentaries or research or giving you any kind of heavy information back. You know, and
Maybe
it's like
it's
it's
too boring.
freaking Shark Week. You
Yeah,
know what I
it
mean?
is. It's too boring.
Like, you're gonna spend an
they
entire.
don't wanna hear
You're
about
you're not gonna see a congregation of nurse sharks,
Oh man,
nurse sharks in Biscayne Bay.
you can make
Shark
that
Week.
stuff interesting. You can make
Yeah,
it
you
interesting.
can.
You really can. I mean, if you
Oh,
really
yeah.
want to get into Shark Week,
Yeah.
you got a bunch of shark nerds out there that are going to look at that and be like, "No, I want to find out all about the leopard shark or whatever." And I don't know. But instead, they're like, "Oh, it's just all about great whites."
Yeah, that's.
I guess I
Yeah.
haven't watched Shark Week enough to.
Neither have I. I haven't even. I haven't watched it lately. I really haven't.
That's
Past
what
couple
I'm
of
saying.
years,
I haven't
and
watched
you
it
know
in
what?
years because
Yeah,
of that.
that's it. That's what I was going to say.
Right? That's my
that's
point.
why it's the same thing.
It's the same
if you
shit
see it
over and
one
over.
year, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, no one's going to get ripped in half. Got newsflash. Okay. Sorry.
That's boring.
Right.
Yeah, they
Right.
can't probably show that on TV anyway.
No, probably not. So but anyway, I think someone recently they tagged like tarpon, and then these tarpon were going out way out beyond like the Gulf Stream, like way out, like above the Bahamas and like in the middle of the Atlantic, and then maybe they're spawning out there.
Didn't they
come
find
back.
out that Tony did some of that work with? What's that?
The what?
Yeah, and I think they found that they spawned offshore. Yeah.
Once they leave the nurseries, they go out offshore. Why?
We're still learning. We need more money for research on that.
Right.
All right, so GoFundMe.
Tags,
Tags,
but
more
we want
tags.
white marlin tags, not
Yeah,
tarpon.
white
tags.
marlin tags first. That
Where what?
White marlin, what? Yeah.
tags first.
Hey, this is a
then
family show.
tarpon.
No, I mean I always think it's really, really interesting with the sat tags and
For sure.
But beyond interesting, there's a lot of positive things to be learned
Mhm.
throughout the,
I mean, it's a huge. Not just. I mean, blue marlin, white marlin, not just for ROFFS, but the economy in general. I mean, the tournaments.
Yeah.
Just bring a huge amount of money, amount of jobs. It
yeah,
From the boat industry all the way down.
I mean,
people.
yeah,
Yep. Pat Healy and Viking are part of. They wrote a letter for us for that project. So hopefully we'll get it rolling. We'll see.
yeah, right. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I just think that like so much can be done with the sat tag thing. I actually think I didn't even think of that before. Like when I asked you guys to come on, like I didn't even think about sat tags, like because I already know like what you guys do for like tournaments and find fish and say, hey, I've been in the Bahamas and Mitchell's like sent me some stuff. He's like, hey, you're in the Bahamas, here, sends me an email. I'm like, oh, cool, thanks,
Awesome.
Mitchell. Right? And then it's been helpful, but I didn't even think about the sat tag thing. Like you guys are like utilizing the technology. You got the technology up and everything, right? Like so, you're working with the Billfish Foundation, right? Working with NASA, right? And then what other ideas do you guys have that you could further this technology and to further your knowledge and like what you gain? Like talk about bluefin tuna, right? You can talk about doing some mahi research. Is there any inshore stuff that you guys ever get into? Is it mostly like offshore?
It's mostly offshore just because of our expertise is the satellite imagery.
Yeah, the resolution of the data.
The resolution of the satellite data, so 1 pixel's about 1 kilometer. So
really?
Yeah.
So inshore, near shore, you're not really
you don't get
so that's too
a lot
finite.
You don't get a lot of data that's helpful.
So it's not like Google Maps.
Right.
We can go like right in,
zoom
like,
in
on my car, on my driveway.
Yeah, that's not the way.
Everyone's done that, right? Like, everyone's seen their car in the driveway.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah. No. No. You never done that?
I have not seen my car on the
driveway. You never Google Maps your address?
Oh yeah,
like from the satellite.
I zoomed in, but my car wasn't there.
Your car,
someone else's was.
Some dude's car was there. My wife was home.
Kate Upton was there though. So Kate Upton was there. That's all that matters.
Yeah. I don't know, so some guy swimming in my pool. my kid's in the front lawn. No. Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, so the inshore stuff doesn't. Well, our data we can't see. So we get all the data from NASA and NOAA, the satellites, Europeans, the European Space Agency, right? Satellites,
yep.
And so all that data is free, right?
Okay.
And then we have to process that in house to make it into an image.
Yeah,
so you're working with them to get all the data.
Well, that you can get it on.
You can get raw data, but then you have
the raw data, and then we have to process.
We have customized, scripts and stuff that we've written, to process it and get.
So I can get raw data from satellites.
Mm-hmm.
If you knew how to do it,
I would know what the hell to do with it.
If you want to,
yeah.
Then you'd be like, well, what do I do with this?
It's like saying, yeah, you can go to the art store and buy some paint too.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you gonna do?
I could paint a fish, but
yeah,
I don't think it's gonna
look like
that.
This cool stuff here.
Yeah. So you like the gallery? I mean,
yeah, it's awesome.
It's all new. So we're gonna be open. We're gonna be open this weekend. We haven't really opened it up yet.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah.
Come buy your Christmas presents.
Yeah, right. So we haven't really opened the gallery up yet. I think the cool thing is, we're open. Like if people stop by, be like, hey, you want to come see the gallery?
Right.
And like a lot of people come to buy it, but we haven't really been like open yet. So it's kind of interesting to see people have been like, hey, we came by. Like they're texting me all the time. Oh, I came by Saturday. I'm like, I'm home, man. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm watching the game.
The thing is, it's like most of the business that we do is custom. So it's not like, we have the gallery. We love the gallery. It's brand new, so we don't really know like where we're taking it just yet. But like most of the stuff we do is custom. So we're here from like Monday through Friday, and then I'm like home for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's nice to have the gallery. We're going to do events here. We got the Pilar bar, right? We're going to have a tailgate barbecue.
Oh, nice.
I think it's going to be January 16th, that Sunday. Right, so I think we're gonna have some playoff football going on.
Oh, cool!
Right, like that, and we're gonna have like the gallery open. We're gonna have the bar open, and we're gonna be serving.
Can I ask Lars? She might be free to be the bartender.
You want to be the bartender?
Be bartender.
Yeah, is that cool? Yeah. So actually, the cool thing is, well, not the cool thing, but I can't sell the rum. Right, I have to get because I don't have a liquor license, so I give it to people, and I'm like, if you want to tip me, you can buy something.
Yeah.
And then do it that way, but. Yeah, it's going to be cool. We got a bunch of events planned for here. So we're going to be bringing people in. We're going to have maybe wine nights. And a lot of people have asked us if we want to do those painting nights, where you wine and painting.
What's that called?
Paint a fish?
Yeah, paint a fish, right?
Drink some wine, paint a fish.
I've never done one of those. I think I should probably go out and do one of those, right? And then just see how they do it.
You can change it to...
Yeah.
Be pretty interesting.
Be customized for your shop.
Papa's Pilar sponsor, so it wouldn't be a wine painting; it'd be a rum painting.
Nah, that's a pretty good idea, actually.
Right?
Painting with Papa.
Yeah, painting with Papa, right?
Oh,
I'll dye my beard white.
Oh,
right, and put on one of those big sweaters, like Hemingway has, right? Start punching people. Be good.
Painting with Papa Friel.
Right. Exactly.
So Dennis, do you remember you were actually an artist of the year for ROFFS
I was.
back in we think
I should have looked it up.
2014.
I should have looked it up.
2013.
Was it 2014? 2000? Yeah. Might have been a while. Yeah.
I don't remember.
So we'd like to think we're part of the success that you've been.
100%.
You just
like to think
blossomed from there.
Make no bones about it. You definitely are. Absolutely. I would be nowhere in my career.
Actually, I think I might have. It's sort of funny, but Adrian might have recommended you, or it might have come of a conversation with him that I might have had because he knew you.
It's very possible. Adrian and I are very good friends.
It might have been.
Listen, no. I really, since you're bringing that up, I want to just state that for the record, that I love Adrian Gray. No, I do. I love him like a brother. I mean, he's so talented.
He is.
Like just from everything he does.
I remember when he worked at ROFFS, he started sketching stuff before he
it's not even
quit
just
at
that.
ROFFS, but he used to bring stuff into work, and he would show it to me, like a couple of, like that swordfish. There's a swordfish he did at one of his first ones, and he got prints made, and there's another one of a sailfish like jumping out, and Fowie is there.
Yeah, he still has that original.
He brought those
that?
He brought those into work, sketch with pencil.
Yeah.
Before he print and showed them to me, and I was like, dude, these are amazing. Like you got, and he was like, oh, I don't know, I don't think they're that good. And I was like, dude, you got to paint these.
That's the thing, he doubts himself.
Yes.
But
they were.
I can tell you,
awesome.
He's one of the most talented people I've ever met in my entire life. Not just creatively, dude's an amazing fisherman.
Yeah, he is. He is. I'd fish with him, and really, really good. And he takes some awesome underwater photos too.
But the best part about Adrian Gray is that when you're his friend, you know it.
Yeah,
he's a good guy, and that's kind of what brought me. Like, he's one of the best people I know.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what brought me up, because when you said, "Oh, you think it was Adrian who suggested," I wouldn't doubt that for a second. You know what I mean? And even along the lines, he's since suggested me for other things, and
for sure,
it's a lot of people think that artists can't get along with other artists.
Oh, that's not true.
Right? That's not true at all. No. Right? But I can see how people can think that. You know what I mean? Like we're all kind of in competition with each other, but that's not really how it is. But the case in point is being Adrian. It's like we're tight buddies, and and he just he continually keeps setting the bar. I mean, if anyone wants to have a good follow on Instagram, you see a lot of Adrian's photography.
Oh God, yeah, he's some awesome
fish imagery, right?
Sportfish Gallery, I think.
Sportfish Gallery, that's right. So. Sportfish Gallery. So I'm gonna get the exact.
He's got some awesome underwater stuff, man.
Yeah, he does. Hold on, I gotta make sure I type correctly here for all thumbs.
Yeah, I do some stuff. I do some stuff with the Kiwanis of Homestead. I help them.
Really?
I do their photography for their tournament, but I help them do their magazine and stuff. And 2-3 years back, I needed an image for their dolphin tournament. They were using something old, and I reached out to him. I was like, man, I need some photos, to you. And he sent me like these awesome underwater photos of dolphin to put on their cover.
Yeah.
It was really awesome.
He sent me, see that swordfish behind you? He sent me swordfish image just to get me going on that one.
That painting is awesome. A cool one. Yeah.
So, and if also anyone else wants a really good follow, it's Endless Imagery Photography.
There you go.
Right? And it's all one big long ass word.
It is.
No underscores. No, nothing like
just
that.
Just one big long word.
Right. But yeah, no, you got some really great shots here. A lot of boats, a lot of sunrises,
yeah,
a lot of
I do mainly boats, and I've been
like
slacking. I mean, I still do a lot of tournaments, but I haven't posted a lot of stuff. Recently, but
no, you've been busy.
Yeah,
right. You've been sat tagging great whites, white Marlin. So the right on. The so what's up for you guys next, ROFFS? We got on the agenda for this coming. You got tournaments coming up.
We do. We'll support any tournament.
So how do you guys get involved with the tournaments?
Mostly our clients that order that fish it.
Okay, so you're not getting involved with the actual tournaments, like mostly like the guys fishing around the tournaments.
Yeah, mostly. Yep. We have relationships with certain tournaments, and sometimes we'll sponsor. Sometimes we, it just depends.
What about like conservational efforts? Like, do you guys get involved with any like coastal like the CCA kind of stuff, or like any like coastal like did anyone ever like try to access your information, like to try to? I'm just kind of thinking, right? Because we do we think about conservation, and I'm not trying to like throw any like organization like up against anyone else right now, but I'm just like spitballing like there's ways to like use this data for conservation purposes as well. besides just tracking fish, but maybe like seeing like weather patterns, water patterns. Like, have you guys been able to like? You mentioned climate change earlier and like different things like that. Is there any like thoughts that you might have like that might help that question?
So it's so hard. It's really everything changes that we use quite a few satellites, and each satellite gets a couple of passes a day,
right?
And just over the course of a day, like the water changes in some areas so quickly,
so much.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it really changes that fast.
It depends on where. I mean, down South Florida, where you have the Gulf Stream coming up around, it's really fast. And other areas in the northeastern U.S., the Gulf of Mexico, it might not change as fast.
Right.
But it's also interesting how people fish different, in different areas.
Right.
Use different techniques and, have a different mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally different in Miami or in Pompano, where you might have to run a mile, 2 miles, 5 miles, and up in the Northeast, you're running 80, 100, 120 miles.
That's actually most of our clients.
The Gulf of Mexico, they're
run so far.
It's crazy.
Right.
They're spending all this money on gas and bait, and so down here in Florida, a lot of we're spoiled, right?
Yeah, we're 2 miles offshore.
Gulf Stream right there, right? But these guys are, trying to get an upper hand on where exactly to go, because they don't want to waste their time going other places.
But even down here, if you're going out of Hillsborough Inlet right here, and we can tell you whether to go north or south, because if you pick the wrong,
or where the eddy's going to be tomorrow,
if you pick the wrong direction, you're going to have to stop and run back and waste that time and waste that gas.
Right.
So you only have so many days. You only have so much time you can fish. If we can help you decide where to start, you're getting your money's worth. That's our, we're trying to help you.
It boggles my mind, like how far those guys up there run. Like, we were just up for that Atlantic City tournament.
That's crazy.
Right up there, and then and I got an education on that area just from talking to a lot of the guys up there, and then seeing how they fish, and
it's totally different than down here.
Bringing in big ass tuna, that's for sure. There's 200-pound big eyes and stuff that they're bringing up to the scales, but I'm like, you guys have been like, how do you get out there and then you catch it and you're done.
And a nice 11. What was the blue marlin in the
you still run back
1,135 pound.
Oh yeah,
blue marlin during the Mid Atlantic.
Yeah, the Mid Atlantic.
That was our client.
Caught like a 900 pounder too.
Yes,
like before that.
989
in the bag,
989, right? I believe it was, or almost 1,000. Yep.
Yeah, so, he's thinking, I got this.
Yeah, Wolverine. We did a little article on that on Facebook where
Wolverine.
They both were our clients.
They're both for our clients, and then John Duffy brought in that bill fisher, right?
I think his wife didn't his wife like call you in the office, and they were like, "Oh, you better watch the live feed because they're bringing in a big fish."
Really?
And he actually was out. I think you weren't.
Well, I was at the Mid Atlantic.
Yeah, he was there. But not
in Cape May.
Yeah, in Cape May, not in Ocean City where they weighed the fish.
And I brought my son too, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "What?" Yeah. We were in Ocean City the day before, visiting some clients and hanging out. Went back up to Cape May and for the last day of the weigh-in, and we're watching on TV, and we're like, "Oh man, we were just there. We should stay in Ocean City."
Dude, that's great. That's a big fish. Those are two big fish.
That was an epic tournament.
I mean, when we were in Atlantic City, they caught a 679.
Yeah, that's huge.
For the Jimmy Johnson, that was right in the 11th hour of the tournament. That won it for Roll Groove. Yeah. It won the whole thing at that point.
You just never, with fish like that, you never know.
That's a big fish. Yep. 900,
1,135, is that what it was?
So, yeah.
And it was in a lightning storm, and the
angler, remember he told us we almost got struck by lightning.
Was scared he was going to get, or not the captain, the guy that caught it was scared he was going to get hit by lightning. Yeah, crazy.
Well, you get 1,100 pounds, you got to tell some stories.
Yeah, for
sure. My arm fell off, and then I sewed it back on.
I had to reel it in with one arm.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Right? The helicopter flew over. This dude was taking my picture.
Yeah.
Right? We were spraying him with water.
Well, he cut my line, so I grabbed it by hand.
At least the shark didn't get a hold of that fish before it got
shark bite the one year.
Oh, yeah.
One of our clients, shark bite, his catch was bit by a shark. And
it would have placed.
Would have been a winning fish.
It would have placed in the white marlin. Was it white marlin tournament?
I believe so.
What happened?
Shark bite. They were bringing their fish in, and a shark bit it.
Shark bite was the boat.
Shark bite by
Isn't
shark
that
bite.
Ironic.
Shark bit by a shark bite on Shark Bite.
And I got disqualified because that was the
Mangled fish.
Yeah, you
tournament,
can't
yeah,
make
tournament rules.
fish.
It was a story, though.
Yeah. Wow.
Expensive story.
I don't
Nuts.
understand the disqualification for a manglefish because you're losing poundage, right? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know
I don't
either.
know.
I think part of it is, I mean, if it gets bit, when
Yeah.
it's way out there, it could be easier to reel
Yeah,
in than a
yeah,
live fit. Maybe
yeah.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that works. But
Yeah.
rules
who
are
am I to
Yep.
say?
rules
I
are
don't-
rules.
I'm not
I just
sure.
paint them. I just paint them. Well, listen, gentlemen. I thank you guys for coming to see me. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, this
Thanks.
is neat. I
Yep.
really, we should do this again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
100%. But we're going to wrestle up to the Pilar bar and tell some more stories and hang out. If you guys got time.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on.
We're all down here for our holiday festivities for
Yeah.
ROFFS. So
This is our
we're having a
last
good time
episode
this
for the
week.
year.
Oh yeah.
is it?
Yeah, we're done.
Oh.
We're heading up to Melbourne.
Happy
from
New
here.
Year's.
Are
and-
you?
Yep.
Yeah,
he's
this
coming
is
up.
the New
Well,
Year's
thank you for having us.
Yeah, the
Yes.
New Year's episode. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be
Awesome.
when it airs, we're all gonna be funny hats and right, that kind of stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
tell everyone how to get involved with ROFFS,
Probably the best way is our website.
Yep.
Check out-
www.roffs.com.
right? And just
we're-
access services, so they got to reach out to you and tell them who you are. Or
Yep. And then also on Instagram, Facebook,
Mhm.
Roffs Fishing.
Yep. At
Ross
ROFFS Fishing.
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find all the information. There's maps on there. It shows what areas we cover.
Yeah.
There's sample analyses on there. You can order directly on there, and all our contact info is on there.
okay.
If you have any questions, call the office and ask
And
for
you'll
Laura.
speak
Yeah.
to Laura.
yeah, you.
She'll have
She
a,
won't
have
make
a-
you a drink, but she'll put your order in.
If you need rum, call Laura, and then we'll tell you where the fish are. Awesome. All right, cool. So, ROFFS. Now, keep me posted. I'm really curious to find out about that Sat White Marlin thing,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Yeah,
So-
we're hoping to get that funded, and that'll be a big deal. We have some
Yeah.
cool people involved. John Graves from VIMS in Virginia, and one of Jim Franks,
University of Southern
University of Southern
Mississippi.
Mississippi. He does
Okay.
a bunch of tagging there. He's been doing it for years. He did a great
I'm
job
involved
there.
with Bluefin too.
Mhm.
There at
Yeah.
Southern Mississippi. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
See how that goes. And then we're always working to get better. Our website and yeah. So if you have any questions, give us a call.
Awesome. Nice. Ross Fishing. Very cool. Thank you guys
Thank
for
you,
coming
Dennis.
in today. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Greg Gawlikowski, right? Mr. Upton.
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you very much. And he is married to Kate Upton. So
He
he
is.
told me.
He
before the
definitely
show,
is. He
so,
definitely is.
Yeah. So, Barflies. Thank you very much, Laura.
Thank you.
Appreciate you filling in for Carlene today. If you're in the market for a new truck or Jeep, right? Preferably a Dodge Ram vehicle, right? Give our buddies at Joey Carty, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram a call. They'll hook you up. I can't say for sure, but I have a pretty good idea that if you go in there, ask for Dean, and you said, listen, this dude on this show called Connected by Water told me to come in here, talk to you about a truck. I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure you're going to get a better deal than most people. So please go ahead and see those guys at Joey Carter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, conveniently located off Federal Highway in Pompano Beach, Florida, where we're at. And if you're thirsty, and I know you are, why don't you go ahead and get yourself a bottle of Papa's Pilar rum, right? They got the dark, they got the blonde. We were drinking the blonde and the sherry cask today. They also came out with their new Legacy Edition, which is a limited edition that is extremely top shelf. They remind you never to be a spectator, and always make sure you make Papa proud, right? I want to give a shout out to our friends at Papa's Raw Bar, locally here in Lighthouse Point, and Olakai and Maui Gym. And if you are in the market for some new apparel, visit connectedbywater.com. And actually, you should really just come visit our new gallery. We'd love to have you in here and to check it out.
It's nice.
If you're a CV boat owner, go on over to shop.cvboats.com and check out the Friel collection. We designed their entire line of apparel, and you can buy some cool CV stuff there. So cool. You guys good?
Yep.
Yeah,
All right, we're
absolutely.
going to check out. Unless your ego is not your amigo. Always do your best. And remember,
Thank
at the
you.
end of the day, just let God do the
Thank you,
rest.
sir.
Right?
Yeah,
And don't
happy
ever forget.
holidays.
Don't ever forget that no matter where we
Happy
are,
New Year.
no matter what we're doing, we're all connected by water. Thank you, gentlemen.